We are going to be assuming that this is our fabric, right? You are going to cut on your fabric, giving your armhole round curve. The armhole round curve of what I'm working with is 18 inches. Assuming this is my fabric, I'm going to cut it 18 inches wide without allowance, and what your desired length is. The length I'm using for this long sleeve is 23 inches. I'm going to fold my pattern paper into two. If you have a fabric, you also fold into two, which is now going to give me 9 inches on fold. What I have here on my pattern paper is 9 inches width on fold and 23 inches long plus folding and joining allowance. Assuming it's your fabric, that is how you are going to cut it. On your pattern paper or fabric, you are going to come down by 1/2 inch. This is what you are going to use to join the sleeve to the armhole curve. That line is called the starting line or the shoulder line. I'm going to place my tape there and take my vertical measurements. From my shoulder line to my cap height is 5 inches. Here is a more detailed explanation about cap height and how it can affect your design. The first question is, what are cap heights? To put cap height as simple as it is, cap height is the distance from your shoulder line to your underarm. This distance is what determines how deep and how tall your sleeve curve is going to be so that it can fit smoothly into your armhole. The cap height determines two things. 1. The mobility around your armhole region. 2. The fit around the armhole region. A shorter cap height, which is between 3 to 4 inches, is used for casual free wears where you want comfort. You just want ease of movement around your armhole, like your t-shirt, your polos, hoodies. The downside of the short cap height is it causes bulgy fabric on the armpit region, as shown in this picture. A longer cap height, which is between 6 to 7 inches, is used for more structured and formal fit, like blazers, suits, structured dresses, or fitted blouse. Unlike the shorter cap height, where there is wrinkling and bulging around the armhole region, for the longer cap height, there is little to no wrinkling at the armpit region. Although the longer cap height gives a good fit, the downside is there is little mobility on the armhole region. You'll notice this especially in suits and blazers. When you try to raise your hand, the shirt is going to raise with it. That there is no freedom at all for you to move the way you want to move your hands. The cap height I've chosen to use for this is a medium size cap height, which is 5 inches. Next thing is still placing your tape on the shoulder line. You get your elbow measurement. My shoulder line to my elbow is 13 inches, and from there I get the full length, which is 23 inches. And just like that, we are done taking our vertical measurements. I'll take the tape over to the other end and I'll mark the same thing. This is so I can get straight lines. Connect the point you now have with your ruler. I have my length line, my elbow line, my cap height line. From the video I dropped, I guess you've been able to understand cap height better. You'll notice many tutors call the cap height the biceps line, but it's not called the biceps. Calling it the biceps can be quite deceptive. The biceps is the widest part of your hand, and calling that the biceps is not right. The right word is called the cap height. If you notice other creators calling this the biceps line or any other thing, just note that they are referring to the cap height. Remember your armhole round curve. When you measure the round curve of what you are sewing, you are going to divide that by 2. Since mine is 18, I divided it by 2, which is going to give me 9. I'll angle my tape diagonally from the midpoint. I'll stop on the cap height at 8.5 inches. That's my round curve divided by 2 minus 1/2 inch. For instance, your armhole round circumference after joining the shoulders gives you 22. Divide that 22 into half. That's going to give you 11. Now you remove 1/2 inch from that 11, and that is 10.5. It's the 10.5 you are going to diagonally measure on your cap height. I'll go ahead and connect diagonally. Please tell me you understand. I'm going to be reading the comments. So, did you understand? Now let's leave the armhole curve first. We are going to work on it later. For our elbow, you are going to impute your elbow round circumference measurements divided by 2. Here is a proper way to take your elbow round circumference measurement when you are not working with a stretchy fabric. After measuring your elbow, you ask your client or you move your hand up and down, and as you move, you adjust your tape measurements to be flexible and to move around that point. We do this for non-stretchy fabric because we want to be able to easily move our hands when we wear the cloth. So after measuring, I got 12 inches, which was very flexible, but I wanted this to be a little bit fitted but still has flexibility. That's why I am putting 11 inches. Now 11 inches divided by 2 is 5.5. When measuring our wrist round curve for our sleeve, you don't just measure it like this. If you measure it like this, now try to pull it off your hands. You can see it's not pulling because it's not a stretchy fabric. There is no way it can stretch. So what you do is you increase it and then you try to move it out of your hands. You try to move the tape out of your hands and you keep adjusting till you get something that can easily slide off your hands. You get, Abby? So what I have for this is 8.5. I'm going to divide that 8.5 by 2 and I will impute it on my length, which is 4.2. I'll connect those points together from my cap height to my elbow, then from my elbow to my length. The next thing to do is to cut out this draft you have of your sleeve. Please, I want you to take note of something. If you are cutting on a fabric, cut with your allowance. You could see that I didn't add folding allowance. This is because it's a pattern paper. Add about 2 inches folding allowance, and then on the sides you add 1 inch allowance to your elbow and to your length. You do not add any allowance to your cap height, and then you connect those points together before you cut. The reason why we are not adding any allowance to the cap height is because when you were measuring the round circumference of your armhole, you measured everything. So adding allowance on the cap height will lead to excess. That allowance you added will now be an excess on the arm, which you will eventually have to trim off. So there is no need at all. I know you have gained something valuable from this video so far, because if not, you wouldn't still be watching. So I want you to help me just do one thing, maybe 2 things. Help me like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification so you will be the first to get notified when I drop a new video. I think that's like 3 things now. Well, anyways, in this channel, I make sewing and learning easy, fun, and beginner friendly. If you are a beginner wanting to level up your skill, my masterclass training is all you need. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I made it accessible, so that's why I put it at a price of 5,000 naira. So you don't have any excuse to remain where you are at. I'm only taking 100% and the group is already filling fast. So click on the link in the description box or in the comment and get access now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. No, you don't. I have opened it up and spread it out on my table. This is how you are going to do it even on your fabric as well. So I will extend my allowance line and I will extend the other lines as well. I will also connect the cap heights from the midpoint to the edge of the cap heights. We want to start working on the armhole curve right now, so I need you to pay attention. Okay, the first thing you need to do is to get the midpoint of your diagonal line. My diagonal line, as we've previously discussed, is 8.5. You divide that by 2, which is 4.2, and that's going to be my midpoint. We are going to take one part of the half and divide it by 2 again. Then you also take the upper part of the half and divide by 2 again. It's just like you are breaking your diagonal line into 4 parts. Now you have 1, 2, 3 points. Do the same thing to the other side as well. Let me quickly do a recap. Divide what you have by 2, and then you divide what you have divided again by 2. So you are going to determine which part is going to be the front and which part is going to be the back, because they are basically the same thing. So my big head and my full hair, my head full of hairs, is blocking the camera. So that's my front and that's my back. On the part which is labeled front, you see that line, the first line, you are going to go down from that point by half of an inch. On the third point close to the tip, you go up by half of an inch too. I'm using my ruler to draw out those half-inch mark This is not important. I'm doing this so you can see it clearly. On the back side, the part I labeled back, you are going to do the same thing, but not entirely the same thing. On the first point, you go up by half of an inch, and then on the last point, you go down by quarter of an inch. That's half of an inch. Next thing is to connect the points we now have. So I want you to watch closely as I am connecting it. And here I am with my head full of hairs again. Oh my god. From the tip of the sleeve, you connect downwards to meet the half-inch point you went up by. The second line is the point of intersection where the incoming line crosses downward to meet the half-inch that you went down by on the first point at the bottom. The last thing you do is to connect to meet the edge of the cap height line. So here we go. Now you are going to do the same thing for the back side as well, the same curving. I beg, make I can't come on my big head for road. Make una see me here they do. Sorry guys, I wasn't aware that my head was blocking the view. If you don't want to stress yourself using your free hand and you have a curve ruler, please go ahead and use it. It's actually worked. So I just wanted to use the free hand to illustrate. But now that you get it, you can actually use your curve ruler. I've already explained how you add your allowance to a basic sleeve. You also add half of an inch allowance to the top of the sleeve. That's the allowance you will use to join it to the armhole. And that's why it's important that we give that half-inch allowance at the top. If you notice, I didn't give any allowance to this pattern paper. That's because it's a pattern paper. But if it was a fabric I was drafting on, I will give allowance the way I've explained it. I know you are wondering, what if we are drafting a short sleeve? It's basically the same thing. You place your tape on the shoulder line and you measure to where you want your short sleeve to stop. The length of my short sleeve is 8 inches. After marking the short sleeve length, I'll use my ruler to draw broken lines on that point. The second thing you need to get is to get the round curve of your sleeve and you place it on that point. Oh, so we are almost done, but there are a few things I still want you to note. And if you notice, as I'm cutting it, I'm not cutting on the allowance, I'm cutting on the main draft. But if you are cutting on your fabric, I've reiterated this several times, you cut with your allowance. I'm just making the midline obvious with my ruler. After you're done cutting and you fold your fabric into two, you are going to observe something. You will observe that the front went down more than the back side. This is because of how we drafted our pattern. This is the bodice pattern I taught my masterclass students for beginners. It's not a basic bodice because there is nothing basic about it. So if you want access to my beginner course where we draft detailed tutorials like this, just hit on the link in the description box. I'll also drop into the comments so you can get access. Now back to what I was explaining. When I align the front and back armhole, you will notice that the front armhole is deeper than the back armhole. This is because when we are drafting our bodice pattern, you will go in on your armhole length by 1 inch for the front. So because of that half inch you went in by, that's what is causing the depthness, and your sleeve also have to carry that depthness more than the back. The back bodice armhole curve doesn't have that depth. We didn't go in by half inch on the midpoint of the armhole line, so that's why it's like that. Now if you see as I've placed them side by side like this, you notice that the front is actually deeper than the back. So that's why for our sleeve, the front part has to be deeper than the back too. We are going to run final checks to see if the sleeve armhole curve is the same thing as the armhole curve we have for the garment. I have exactly 18 inches, which means this method works. Just follow through everything I've said in this tutorial and you'll get a good result. Help me like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notification so you will be the first to get notified when I drop a new video.